It's August the 24th, 2016, and this is the moon hologram. I'm going to show first a few large black orbs that just came in. These are pretty huge. Okay, that big black one right there, that one is 500 miles in diameter. Look how shiny it is. See the little ones going around it? Okay, I've gotten to it too late. It's splitting up into smaller units. You can see it breaking up. So what it's doing, it's releasing all the orbs that made up that cluster. Watch it dwindle away to nothing. See it getting smaller. And see how clusters are formed? There are many smaller units. Each one of them is a cluster. But you see how big it was? That was a 500 mile orb. And it was black. Now it's a different color. And it dwindled away to like at least half its size. Maybe more. And you can see all the even large clusters that make it up. There was more than one, but it's releasing orbs back into the moon hologram, and some are going into the parent cluster, which is all around there, all around the hologram. And you could even see them going around it. You can see the small ones going around it. There's the orb. See the velocity of the counterclockwise motion of the revolutions around it. And you see all the orbs in the background there that are not that visible. But, you know, you go like, I gotta get the right angle to show them. I'll do that later. Here's another structure. Okay, those are not rocks or boulders or anything. They're all structures. Look at the size one. That's the same black one. It went back to its original shape. It's turned black. Just before it had dwindled to nothing. You see how fast it goes back to its original shape and color. Here's another black one, but it's not as big. but you can see how fast those little orbs, which aren't that small, they're probably like 50-mile diameter orbs, spinning around like crazy counterclockwise around that larger one. I don't know what those white things are. I can't make them out exactly. There's a lot of orbs right there next to that smaller black one. And that's a large one. And all these are structures. Okay, you could see how they're different types of structures. And look at that one, it's like nearly a square or a cube. And as you go up, and you have this tall one. And you have more orbs right there next to it. Okay, then you have this one that's sticking out just as far as the tall one is sticking up, and more orbs on top of that. Okay, those are all clusters. Doesn't matter the shape. They're all orb clusters, and they all do the same thing. But this thing here is like an obelisk. Okay, and I'll back off. You can see that it's an obelisk. And the other thing is an obelisk as well, but just facing a different way. Because on the moon hologram in space, it really doesn't matter which way you face. There is no up or down or sideways or anything like that. Okay, it's a multidimensional space, and which way you face doesn't matter. So the obelisks face whichever way the orbs are going to be shot out into space. Because what the orbs do is they snake around that thing real fast, counterclockwise, until they build up enough momentum in order to have enough velocity to take off. Okay, sometimes those are used to catch orbs that are coming in too fast. So they come in and they spin counterclockwise, but down towards the hologram until they slow down. So those things are used for takeoffs and landings, almost like a carrier deck that has those catapults, except these are different types of catapults. So they can either launch or catch, and this is what it looks like from far away. And this is at about 250x. Now you can see them clearly. You can even see that black orb. But when you come close to it, well, it's still black. And you can even see that real fast spin. So the large orb is spinning fast counterclockwise, and the little ones, they're not that small, but little in comparison. They're spinning even faster counterclockwise. It's all counterclockwise motion in the revolutions. It's just the difference in velocity. But altogether, all these velocities and all this counterclockwise movement sets the frequency. And that happens across the whole, or in the entire moon hologram. Because the whole thing is just them. It's just that it's too bright now to tell that. Because every time I go to film it lately, it decides to increase its intensity of light. I'm gonna just try something. Okay, I darkened it so that we can see in this part. Okay, now it's really upset. It's gonna start jumping all over. Yeah. Okay, so there's the tall structure. These are all living structures. They're composed of orbs. Orbs are living entities. I don't know what else to call them. That's the parent cluster there. These are all living entities, that's for sure. Okay, so there's that big orb. Okay. Okay, so I got the red, the maroon, and the sepia filters on to see what is in here. Okay, look at the pace of the action, and now you can see that electromagnetic field that's keeping the moon hologram, you know, the shape of the moon hologram, the energy, it's keeping it together, but it's also keeping out all the other orbs out here. Okay, so you see how some are going out. They're already charged up. Oops, but the ones here, I'll show it here. You see how some are going out? And then others are trying to go in. But you see how there's a jam up? They're the ones that are not allowed in. They have to be totally exhausted in their energy to go in, otherwise they're not allowed. So that acts like a permeable membrane, that whole thing, but it's an electromagnetic field, you know, in actuality, it's an electromagnetic field, if I can get it. Too bad that thing is right over my head. Okay, so here's the crucial part right here. This is the way they work it. So that electromagnetic field lets some out. Those lighter ones, they're already charged up. So any lighter orb there, just moving out of the way. I have to back up. Okay, so you get to see right here. This is a good shot right here of what that black orb really looks like. You can see that the whole thing is alive, inside and outside. Okay, you can see that there's a lot of life everywhere. No doubt about it. Okay, you can see a lot of interaction. And you see how small that big black orb got? It just reduced itself to almost zero. Oops. Okay, here's a good chance to see how they come through the membrane and the ones that can't, and the ones that are being let out. See right there at the edge of the field at the bottom where it's whiter? Those are the white orbs, and they're mixed in with the other ones. They're harder to see down below, but right there at the edge you can see the white ones coming out. They're all charged. They've already been in the nucleus and they were recharged. But all the other ones over here that aren't white, they're trying to get in. So they can only go in when there's no energy left in them. There's that big orb, reduced itself to nothing. This one remained the same. Okay, I'm gonna back up to reset. I mean, refocus, find the thing. Okay, I gotta hold the whole stand in the camera right now to show the top because it's so high up. Okay, so there are those two structures. Okay, that's the moon hologram jumping around. I'm holding this thing pretty steady. And there's that top one. You can see the electromagnetic field. Okay, that holds it together. Here's the other tall structure. Okay, so they're basically launch ramps, just like on an aircraft carrier. Okay, and this is what they look like. Okay. So they're launching orbs in two different directions. One's facing straight up, and one's sideways, but in space that doesn't make any difference. In just two different directions. Okay, see the orb change back to black? See how fast that happens? So it can break into pieces, or it can reconstitute itself in a matter of seconds, less than seconds. It can do it instantaneously. And there's the electromagnetic field, and these are all the orbs, either leaving the nucleus, or trying to get into the nucleus, or being rejected by the nucleus. But it's all done with that electromagnetic field that acts like a permeable membrane. And that's a 500-mile orb. So now you can see it for what it really is. You see how it moves out of the way? The whole thing is made out of intelligent beings, and they know they're on camera. See it move back and forth all over and jump up and down, but you can't escape the camera because it's too big. And boy, it's really upset. It's jumping all over. You see this cubicle here? In this cubicle, the thing would stand still for a minute. See, it knows what I want to show. I think they can read my mind. I'm going to back it up and line it up. This cubicle, you see it? As soon as I want to show it, it jumps out of the way. But I'm going to get it anyway. I'm not going to let it get to me. In that cubicle, that's not a natural shape. None of them are. See all the orbs? See all the orbs? The entire hologram is made out of them. It's just that they're energized and giving off energy and light, and then creating the image of the moon. But that's all it is. It's an image of the moon. There is no moon. The moon is just them. You see? They're smart. They move all over. See over here where it's all bulging and everything? That's just orbs. Okay, there are no craters. There are no rocks. There is nothing. Just orbs. And the whole thing is just an image. But the image can have contours and everything, because the way they bunch up in clusters, they can create like a three-dimensional space, or more than a three-dimensional space. You know, whatever kind of space they want to create, they can create it, because they're multi-dimensional organisms or beings, and they can create more than 3 dimensions, or they can just disappear altogether. They don't have to be in any dimension. because they're in all of them. They can actually split up into pieces, and pieces of them can be in a lot of different dimensions. A lot of different dimensions. See how it won't let me see that peak there? The obelisk. Okay, now that's a living obelisk created by living organisms, beings, entities. Who cares what you call them? They're alive and they're intelligent. Intelligent enough to build ramps and shoot off orbs into space on missions. And they do have missions, and serious ones at that. See all the orbs that create that whole thing? The entire moon hologram is just that. It's this. That's what it is. And see how many there are? And that's, space is full of them. But they're not in our dimension. They can be in our dimension. But they're not like, stuck in our dimension. They can just go to any dimension. And that's why they appear as apparitions and holograms, like a mirage. Okay, now they're here, now they're not. You see how they're gone? And that's what it is. 1 second they're here, next second they're gone. You have to know how to get the correct angle in order to get them. Okay, that's it for tonight. Thank you.